Alrighty, what is going on, my fellow Marvel Rivals gamers? It's your boy, Coach Apxche, and today we're doing a mod review for Scion Dragon on the Captain America in this Celestial 2 game, right? So this is pretty cool. We're getting some, I guess you could say higher. If I don't know if I'd yet say high elo because Celestial is kind of like still iffy, but we'll go with it. We got some high elo gameplay with our boy Scion, and we're gonna get into it, right? We're playing on, I believe it's Spider Island, doing some convoy, and I'm going to go through the Captain America's abilities, right? And if you already know the abilities, I'll leave a timestamp right about here so that you can skip ahead and get straight to the video. But without further ado, let's jump into it, right? First ability is going to be the shield. The shield is just a shield. You put it up, you block damage, right? If anybody shoots it projectile-wise, it will bounce off, it'll reflect, right? But obviously it has health, right? So it can break it. If it does break it, it'll put down. And if you do use it and put it down, even if it doesn't take damage, it will still have an internal cooldown of like 2 seconds, I believe. I could be wrong, but just keep that in mind. This ability right here is going to be your sprint. You have unlimited sprint. This allows you to also super jump, which will also carry into some other abilities, like this one right here, I believe, which allows you to slam down when you're in the air. That's actually pretty interesting that it's bound to this, because if that's the case, that you might be able to alternately bind it. So when you're in the air, you can actually still melee without the fear of being forced to the ground, which is an issue that I have. So if that's actually the case, it's actually pretty good tech, and y'all should use that if that is the case. This is going to be the shield throw. If you throw the shield, whether you throw it at the floor or you throw it at somebody, I'm not sure if this exact one homes. I know the ones that you get from your passive too, but this one, let's just say you throw it at the floor, it'll bounce to the floor and hit somebody, so I'm pretty sure it'll bounce up to 1 time. This is just kind of a way to have a little bit of range along with your passive after you get 2 hits, right, with your melee. That'll give you 4 shield throws. So a good way I like to use that is I like to punch things that are on the ground. If they have a flyer or just somebody that I actually want to hit, but I don't want to run over there just yet, I go punch on the tank, and then I'll just start throwing my shields at the guy that's further back, right? And this last ability is going to be your dash, right? You can use this to gap close to get out, right? But it's just another form of movement, as well as your shield in general, will get augmented in your ult, which we will talk about now. So your ultimate, what your ultimate does is it creates a streak on you and behind you that allows your team to walk through. That'll give bonus health and movement speed not only to them, but it gives it to you as well. So it's kind of like an engage ult, but it can be used to disengage. It can be used as a support ult, right? It has, those should be probably its 3 main functions, right? So this is an ult that it can get easy value, but you can also use it in cool ways, right? So always remember that it's not always just always to go in. It's not always just to keep yourself alive or just stall, right? You can use it to engage. You can use it to disengage. You can use it as a support, or you can use it to stall, right? Like, there's a lot of cool ways that you can use it that, you know, you want to make sure you're expressing those ways so that you can be getting the most out of Captain America. And also, the ult does augment your shield by, if you dash into somebody while you have your ult active, I'm pretty sure it'll knock it back. As well as if you're just holding it back and running into them, it'll also knock them back as well. So you can use it as a form of crowd control. This kind of helps really in the initiation part, in the sense of, let's say you're initiating for your team and you're running into a tank, you can just constantly knock that tank back, or you can just dive into the back line, pop it, and you can just force a support or a DPS into a really weird position without even having to hit them, which will kind of make it easier to dive them and things like that for the rest of your team. Without further ado, we're going to get into the gameplay, hopefully. For the people who didn't know how these abilities work, you know how they work now. And let's go. So, we play Captain America. Currently, we have 3 supports, which is pretty cool, and we have a flyer. So we don't have a lot. I would say a lot of poke damage. This guy would do a decent amount. He's kind of inconsistent. He's pretty pokey, but it's also inconsistent as well. And then Delula's gonna be healing a lot, but she'll probably weave in some damage here and there. So I'm hoping you get a tank like Emma that'll kind of make up for, I'd say, the lack of damage that you have. Magneto could be kind of cool too. I think. Oh, no, you know what? You can't, because I forgot I took a picture. Emma's banned. Emma's banned, as well as the Punisher and Wolverine. So with that being said, honestly, Groot could be really nice on this map. There's a lot of tight chokes, and he can take a lot of advantage there, kind of cutting people off, allowing your team to get that damage in without having the fear of the whole team looking at them.
30 seconds. Stay strong.
And this guy is, he's shaking that thing. All right, so we're not a solo tank, so our comp did change a little bit. We have some better poke now, right? Only 2 supports, because I'm actually cool with. A lot of people don't think this is fine, but especially if you have the Iron Man, it definitely makes him a lot better as a support. But I think this combo would be really nice, especially if you throw both marks on your Iron Man. That guy is going to be a menace. Double mark Iron Man. This guy just chills with the supports. You're cool. Now you have your comp's kind of brawly now. So you got to take it slow. So I don't want you to just all out int. I hope your Hulk doesn't do that either. I hope you guys look for really opportune moments to kind of go in. So what I would say is, if we look at, once we find out what the enemy comp is, obviously we have the power of being able to see it now. But they have a Hulk and they have a Venom. You are a terrible peel tank. You're a disruptor. You're a dive tank, right? Your job is to make a mess in their team. So what I would say here is, if you see that they're looking for a dive, don't stick around. You're not going to be able to do anything. You can't stop their tanks. So what I would do is, when they go in, you have to go in. Let your Hulk play defense, hopefully, and let him kind of try to peel, freeze one of the tanks, bully the other one, right? But I want you to be disruptive. Now, we're not looking to full commit. We're looking to turn heads. We're looking to make sure that the enemy team is not able to follow up on that dive, especially this Hawkeye, right? So, like I said, I'm not looking for you to go in and get a pick, but I want you to draw attention. So I don't want you to use your mobility to go in. I want you to just, other than your sprint, I want you to sprint in, right? Draw some attention, shield up, right? Get away, right? And just keep drawing attention so that you're disrupting the synergy they're trying to have with the dive and the poke. Here we are. When it comes to the pathing, let me just get to you real quick, because I don't know why I'm not on you right now. Whoa. There we go. So once you figure out what they have, right? This is fine. But I'm not a fan of you having to use that mobility to get over here. You probably could have got over just with a normal jump if you would have just did it a little bit more clean. As well as if you punch this wall here, it's actually breakable, which will give you a route in and out really easily from here and there, right? So if I need to get out, you can jump through that way. But I definitely want you to not waste that cooldown, because you're going to need it. Because now that cooldown's down, you have less mobility. So when you do engage here, it's going to be a lot harder to engage and get out. Because like I said, we want to make sure we're distracting them here. Also, don't feel forced to do it right away. Especially since the card's not, everybody's playing really far back. But with it being ranked, these guys are just going to sit here and throw shots, and these guys are probably going to peek the whole time. So I wouldn't be opposed if you did go in pretty early, actually. If you're coming in here, looking to turn heads. Got a Hulk on you, that's fine. But I wouldn't even go back to your team. I would just stay back here. I want you to be a constant threat, right? I want you to be annoying. So just come, if anything, just come this way. Or if you're going to come back this way, just please instantly come back this way. And I want you to constantly be a thorn in their side. Make a decision. Definitely like to see a little bit more commitment, but this is okay. I definitely would target the support here, but this is fine. I think right now your main target's just going to be the support and thing. I understand the Hulk, because if you're getting Hulk eliminated, he won't be able to regain his Hulk form. That's honestly fine already. That's fine as well. Probably is the best choice. Make sure that guy can't come back. Nice, good pick here. That's huge. Make sure we don't want to die here, right? We want to make sure that we're alive. Even if we're not, doing too much, we've already done enough. Make sure we live. Nice. Stay alive, stay alive. You're doing good here. Uphill burst the Venom down. Now they're going to get away. Let your team push the cart. I want you to get in a better position. Probably top left here. Or top right too. Either or works. Honestly, top right might be a little bit better. But I wouldn't go in just yet. The reasoning for that is because look where the cart's at. The cart's really far back, right? You can use this time to get really good position, right? I mean, this could be a way where you're kind of causing distractions on which allows him to shoot. But I personally would have went top right. So I would have just got around here, right? Let the cart push a little bit more. Hopefully my team doesn't poke right away, so that when the fight's about to begin, we can. But then again, they are on respawn, so trying to get another pick here is actually not a bad idea as well. But I will keep focusing on the Hawkeye, which actually happens to be dead. And now, with there being little to no damage, I would just keep going at the shark. Nice. Look at that, doing that exact thing. Nice. It's really good. I'm really liking your decision making. Mine's a little different, but it ends up being really similar to yours, which is totally fine. I really like the way you're playing right now. Your priority's pretty good. Your tempo's pretty good. Once again, like I said, I don't like you as the peel here. I really want you to be disruptive. He's really not doing much to that Venom, you know what I'm saying? Oh, nice. Huge ult. And I'm working out really well for y'all. You can help burn him, that's cool. Because everything else is done. Once he goes to Hulk form, I'm no longer looking at him. It's gonna just look at the Venom and start punching him. Because I know my team will kill Banner. Here we go. Nice, so you're doing really well. So in moments like this, I always want you to be holding tab, making sure nobody's switching, making sure, you know, everything's the same. Because, you know, as we look, they did switch to the Hawkeye, we know that, and then they just switched from the Storm to the Star-Lord. So now there'll be more information that we have. And I actually got off the Hulk as well, right? So that should, you know, give you a better idea how you need to play. Use this opportunity to get that info, scout, put yourself in a good position, so when the fight starts, you're able to initiate in a good way. If you use your shield too early, now you're not going to have it. Nothing you can do there. Oop, don't get it in, please. Nice. So I'm pretty sure the actually no, I think Shark just the whole circle is an activation point. Even if somebody's shield, I don't think it emits from the center. So even if you shield it off, I don't know if anybody. I think people can still get grabbed. Nice. Honestly, you're a lot better than me. I wouldn't have even sat there because in my head I'm like, she's never gonna throw something at me. But hey, she did. You blocked one shot, but I really don't know how big of a difference it made. Maybe it saved somebody, maybe it didn't. I'm not sure. Let's go back actually, because I feel like you could probably do. There's probably something you could be doing more valuable than this at the moment, especially with your ult, right? Like once you hear, actually, is it only once you hear? Actually, no. You have us. How long is this ult been going on? Because that actually would dictate what I would do here. Okay, so the Luna ult. Okay, cool. So Luna ult should probably last throughout the rest of this ult. If you want to be super safe, just ask her how much she has, and if it's about to end, you can just pop yours so that nobody dies. And because the choke's right there, right? Like you just need to get the card here. So you just want to win this fight, guarantee this, and then now you have a whole other set of fights. So let's see how long hers is, because if we were counting, I'd probably say she has 7 seconds left. It's 3. See, I wasn't even counting. I would say, yeah, if you really feel the need, you could pop your ult here, just to make sure y'all win the fight, because it's one of those ults that don't really matter too much. Nice ult, but yeah, I would have popped it just for the sake of popping it. And what you end up doing, I would have just popped it earlier. Yeah, you have the right idea. I would have did it a little bit earlier. Just we would have kept 2 people alive. Well, kept 1 person alive. Actually, no. No, I don't know. I might still might have died. Here we are. Nice. Let that shield go down. Let it reset. Remember, what I like to do there is I really like to punch the Hulk there and then look for someone else to throw their shields at, just because it gives you that extra range, right? So punch, throw the shield at the Star-Lord, because they also track a little bit too, so you can take advantage of that, right? So punch, throw, punch, throw, right? Like just try to like use the fact that Hulk's giving you those free resets on that passive, to punish his team. Hey, right here, I'm looking at somebody else. Those throws in. Flip here. You've already bought enough space. Wait, somebody else in? Your Hulk's in, no? Just gonna help push the card, I guess. Yeah, so I definitely would have stayed in because you still had teammates in. Especially if somebody was like, so if we go back, let's see if somebody was marked. If somebody's marked, I'm gonna tell you exactly what you need to do here. So let's figure out what's going on. Gotta go back a little farther, I believe. We're gonna find out, and I'm explaining it to you. Nice, good pick. You're in there, right? Frozen, cool. So now we're gonna look around. So who's marked? Not marked, not marked, not marked. Does she not have mark on anybody? Ooh, maybe him. Oh, she doesn't have. Oh, this is not good. But she needs to have mark on something. But if she has mark on something, but you could have sat here and just let her heal them through you, right? Which could have been pretty cool. Or she may would have gave you mark if she did it already, and now whatever. But she doesn't have mark, so it's not your fault. I would say just get ready to reset. I don't think this fight's really winnable with the deaths you had. Just do what you're doing is fine. I wouldn't really engage here. And then again, this is also kind of keeping them from walking in on the cart, so it's not too bad. Just because they're not contesting. Hopefully your support just plays their life. Look at this. If I'm them, yeah, I definitely ignore you from them, so like what they might end up doing. Yeah, just get out. So I don't know if I like that ult due to the fact that your teammates are down, and if they're smart, they're just gonna ignore you because they're like, okay, we can't kill this guy. We'll use util to kind of slow him down, just to kind of make sure that we don't lose anybody, and then that's exactly what they did, right? So I wouldn't have committed that ult there. You definitely were looking to buy more time, but if you would have just waited, reset, and then would have helped your team engage with that ult, that could have been a lot better. Imagine popping it now and then walking in. Right, so y'all might have just lost that fight with that death. You popped their ult, and they're gonna... they're the ult dumping. Just gotta reset. Nice. Even if you don't get a pick here, you're doing a lot of work because you're like preventing them from getting back into the fight, so always keep that in mind. A lot of people think you gotta get frags, but you're really big on disruption. As long as you can create a disconnect in their team somewhere, it really helps your team out a lot. I see 2 picks. What I would do if I were you right now is I would go to my teammates in the back. Go to them in the back, right? And I'd pop my ult. So I'd get back to them, pop my ult, and run back in. Why? Because it's going to allow them to walk in behind you with that sustain. What I would do here if I were you.
By the eye of Agamotto.
Especially because, yeah, look at that. Imagine you would have did that, they wouldn't have died to Strange. Most likely. Because they would have had that extra health. And even then, you could have maybe got, like, you could have got them that extra health, and then if he did it still, you could have probably blocked it with your shield, right? But I think going back there and peeling for them with your ult. Like, usually I don't believe in Cap being a peel tank because peeling with him is extremely hard because you really don't have the utility to do that. But when you have your ult, that's a piece of utility. Now, I'm a big proponent of when you have an advantage, right? You don't want to lose it, right? So you're using your ult, you'll maintain that advantage, and you'll keep snowballing the enemy team. You don't want to overcommit, but, you know, like, it's kind of like just snowballing. You did lose a few, which sucks, but the card's still moving. You have your ult for this next fight here. So if I'm you, I'm looking to play my life. I'm looking to survive. I'm looking to keep this Iron Man alive. I don't want Iron Man to die. So if I feel like Iron Man's in trouble, I will ult for him. But I also need to make sure that I get the first touch because that is my responsibility. So right here, I would say I'm ulting for you, which it looks like you did because I just heard the thing. Unfortunately, he died. You need to get this touch here. Stay alive. Once you get the ulti touch, you can get off. You don't need to be forced to stay on because it's gonna decay no matter what. Don't be afraid to get off. You're not gonna be able to break that. Unfortunate you're sport walking to that. You're trying your best, man. On 4, and that's probably the end of the round. So look at that. Imagine you would have did what I said, and you would have went to their backline. You went to your backline, popped your ult, and then walked in. You would have saved your. You would have most likely, can't guarantee, but like let's just say you did for the sake of the argument. You saved your 2 supports. You never lose them. You have the firepower to finish this round and push it all the way in, right? Bang! That's huge, right? Tally, you don't do that, and you're not able to do that. But, and then this is the result of it, right? But honestly, you played really, really well this round. And I'm a big proponent on always blame yourself because you can always play better, right? But obviously, yeah, your team did, they did throw a little bit, right? But like this is one of the games where every little decision you make is gonna really matter, and those are the games you need to win. So, not to like shit in your cereal, you played really well, but there was a few things that if you just did a little bit better, I think you just pushed it, right? So let's see this defense, right? I'm actually really excited. So remember, same thing. Not a peel tank, your disruptor. So your job here is just to make their life annoying, to turn eyes, to like I said, split the team off. So I would say probably a little too early to start doing something. I would wait a little bit till so the tanks start engaging. Because like right here, okay, right here, what are you doing that needs to be done to this Hulk? You're not doing anything. He was gonna get de-Hulk anyways. Those 2 hits, your shield, your little pillow. We all know Cap doesn't do a lot of damage. Like that pillow. That ain't help. He was gonna get de-Hulk anyways. Look where your team's playing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this guy's all over here, which is crazy. But basically your team's really far back. Let them engage, and then you engage on their backline. Make their supports turn. Make their supports waste utility. Just disconnect their supports from their tanks. Force people to peel back so that your team can just do whatever they want, right? You just don't need to engage in this Hulk here. Not worth it. You probably would have died anyways. I'd reset. It's just time to get into a good position. You're also, it still looks like you're just trying to build your ult up. Just totally fine too. So that you just always outpace the Hulk when it comes to his ult. Hulk fed. And another thing. Like, the cart's technically still moving for them. So even though they've lost Hulk twice, look at the progress they've made on the cart. Right? Like, Hulk's death, even though it seems like he's throwing, look what he's obtained for his team. He's allowed the cart to move from the spawn all the way to here while dying twice. And in your eyes, and in my eyes, especially initially, it's like this guy's just feeding. But is he really feeding? Because look at the cart. Look at the cart. He's died twice, and the cart has not stopped, and it's right here. That's huge for them. If he keeps coming in and dying, but that means the cart keeps moving, he's doing his job. He's doing his job. And that's where I feel like you're getting distracted and you're not making the right play because you're not disrupting them. You're not denying the cart's movement. You're not to say this is what you are, but from my interpretation of what I'm looking at, you're too worried about getting eliminations and not about the objective of the game. This is not TDM. This is convoy. You need to stop the cart from moving. You need to disrupt the backline to slow it down. If not, every time that Hulk dies, they're going to get 25%. 25%, 25%, 25%. And then they get the checkpoint. Here we go again. Let's see. Sorry for Allie's just in my butt right now. I'm sticking with this stuff. Okay, you can't really kill anything here. So use this opportunity to run, I would say, to run through a health pack, right? Run through a health pack and get to your team. Or heck, if you have the mobility still, pop your ult. You have mobility up? You don't have mobility up. But if you have mobility up, I would pop my ult and just run through them and try to get to my team so that I can keep my team alive. Like, because in my eyes, your ult is like a counter ult to the cloak ult. Which seemed like you were trying to do, which is Happens a little too late. Not necessarily your fault. Homie should have been chilling. And now you popped ult and your team's dead. At this point, you've already committed your ult. I'd go stall the card. I'd tell your supports, play your life. Guys, just live. I'm going to stall for as long as I can. And just stall, right? Give your team a chance to get back. Are you solo tank cap? Holy moly. That sucks. That sucks. That really does suck, honestly. Man. Have you been a solo tank? Oh my god, you have. Yeah. You definitely can't be playing like heal. You gotta be doing stuff. Y'all got 3 supports. It's gonna be really hard for the Hulk to kill things through 3 supports. Especially with yeah. You gotta be playing aggro here. Yeah, I would stall. I know you're the only tank and you wanna like fight with your team there, but you're so fast that even if you were to die, I think you would get back in time still. I mean, you could even probably just use Strange if you really wanted to just TP back in. I would just abuse the fact that you have your ult there. Back to where we were at. Yeah, and I would have just you end up getting a pick though, but I would have solved the cart. You get a pick though. Can't be mad at that. You see how like you're punching that and it's giving you resets? I would just punch it and just throw shields at people. Instead of keep punching the ult, I punch the ult, get my shield throw my shields. Punch the ult, throw my shields, right? Like not at the thing, obviously, at people. Just to get that poke damage out, just to kind of like, I don't know, force people out. Because if they're not getting healed, if they're not in the range or something, they could still get hit. And it does have a little bit of tracking, so even if you miss a little bit, it'll hit something. All right. You're gonna hear something that is very counter I guess productive in terms of this VOD review. You need to swap, brother. You need to swap. You're great at cap. You're doing great. But if we're coaching you and this is just about like ranking up and just making the smart decision, you gotta swap, man. Can you win this game as cap? Yes. But you are making it infinitely harder by not swapping characters. It's just the truth. It's just the truth. You could be playing Groot right now. You could be playing Strange, right? Like you could be getting more value with a different tank than the cap, right? With the cap, you're forced to play extremely aggressive compared to with something else. Slow down your gameplay a little bit, right? And you can play a little bit more brawly, especially with the fact that, you know, you have kind of like a team comp that enables that. Your team comp's not fast. It's not. Your team comp is very like, I would say half of it's very elusive, and then you have 2 supports that are very vulnerable. Especially if you don't play around them, right? Like most of your team has to play around your supports. So why not do that as well? Why not just finish that mold, right? You've been playing really well on the cap, but I honestly think I just need to switch.
Reach the checkpoint. Keep up the momentum.
If your team had dive characters, I'd be cool. But it's just not the case. Good play. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. If the rest of the game is just you solo tank cap, I'm not even gonna watch it. I'm not gonna watch it. And this is nothing against you. There's nothing against you, but it's gonna be the same thing for the rest of the game. You're gonna just you gotta. Did you get a thing last second though? Yeah, I'm not watching this. You gotta. And this is nothing against you. And I'm sorry that we're cutting it a little early, but the truth is, this game is just extremely hard to win with you on the cap. You gotta swap. You gotta swap. If cap one trick, I only play this. Okay, cool. I think with some of the tips we gave you on offense, what can kind of translate to defense, you don't need me to talk about it over and over and over again. But this is a game where you had to swap, right? And with that being said, we're gonna get into the notes. All right, so brother, I want to preface this real quick. You played very well. I'm proud of your gameplay. I really am. And honestly, your goal is to go from C2 to C1/eternity. You played that game very, very well. Your biggest downside is on defense. You're not swapping characters. You're making the game a lot harder than it has to be. Can solo tank cap work? Yes. Of course. It's always winnable. But you're just making it harder for yourself. Play Groot, play Strange, play Magneto, anything. Like there's so many great tanks you could have pulled out that would have been fine in this game, but you stuck on the cap. You're playing cap when your team's, in a sense, playing poke/brawl. More so poke. Your team is playing more so poke. But you're playing a poke comp with a Captain America. This doesn't make sense, bro. And I guess we started with tip 3. We'll go from 3 to 1, like 2-1. All right, so target prio. Your target prio was pretty good, but there was just a few moments where, like I said, I'm okay with you punching a tank if it means when you get your shield throws, right, you're throwing it at someone else. There's a lot of times where you can just get extra damage on backliners, whether so it can force them out, so it can get them low enough to your DPS get easier picks, things like that, right? But like sitting there just punching tanks all the time, just not going to be value, which you didn't do all the time. But there's moments where you were committing to them a little too much, as well as like you were playing really peely when you should have been playing disruptive, right? Like I don't need you to sit there and brawl tanks so much when you could be making the enemy supports not look at their tanks. Now their tanks just blow up, right? Because you punching the tanks isn't doing nothing because they're just going to get healed. The healers are going to keep healing. They don't care, right? And then for the last note, it's going to be timing. Abilities and engagements. When you're playing as a disruptor, it's not about just always being in. It's about being in at the right times. Disrupting the enemy when they're trying to do things. So if they have tanks that are really aggressive, when the tanks aggro, you attack the backline, which cuts that team in half in a sense, and they have to make a decision. Do I ignore the cap to try to help my team and allow him to eliminate me, or do I defend myself, right? And sometimes they can maneuver, use cooldowns so that they can get away from you and still help their team, right? But you have to force them to make a decision. Don't go in too early so that they can all just look at you, force you out, and now that you're low, you got to get healed, you're down cooldowns. Now they can engage, and now your engagement's late, so they get a head start on you. Even if you still have a good engagement afterwards, their engagement got a head start and has more utility and more what's the word for it? And more utility and just synergy behind it, I guess. There's another word I think I'm looking for, but I just can't. Resources. Have more resources behind it. Yeah, and then your ability timing. Just using your ult in better moments, understanding, multiple ways that you can use it, which I think you do, but I would just say, just keep it in mind. You can use it to peel, you can use it to engage, you can use it to stall, you can quite literally use it like I guess peel and support kind of go hand in hand, right? Like there's multiple ways to use it. You got to read the situation. Cap's one of those heroes where his skill ceiling is very, very high. It's like his skill floor is a little higher because he's a melee hero and he just has so much movement, but his skill ceiling is also very high. You know what I'm saying? So ability timing is very, very important. Yeah. Other than that, you played extremely well. Tip number 3 was probably your biggest downfall of this game. I know it sucks because in your head you're like, let me just play this out so I can get a cap VOD. But honestly, your cap's pretty chilling. Like I didn't see a really big cap issue. which usually that's how it is once you get to these ranks. It's really not a character issue. It's more so just decision making that kind of holds you back from getting to Celestia, to Eternity, and higher. So yeah, I really want to just congratulate you on the way you played. Just don't be afraid to swap heroes. Okay, that's the biggest takeaway of today. Do not be afraid to swap. I don't want to see solo tank cap if it don't got dive behind it. And I ain't changing my mind. All right. Without further ado, that's gonna wrap up this VOD review. For anybody who is interested in getting some coaching as well, you know where to find me. Use the link in my description down below. That will lead you to my Discord, where you can go to my VOD review submission channel, submit a VOD, and I will get to it as soon as I can. Me personally, my VODs have slowed down a lot due to the fact that I'm trying to pursue being a pro player as well. So I do have to give myself a lot of time to do that. So instead of doing the 3 VODs a week, 2 VODs a week, it's coming down to kind of 1, and then I'm doing my little journey with my my progress and stuff. So if I get to it a little bit later than I usually will, I apologize ahead of time. I do them for free, so I just please ask that y'all have that grace and consideration for me. I just want to thank Cyan for allowing me to do this VOD, to allow me to make videos on things that I really enjoy. I love games, I love coaching, I love helping people reach the ranks they want to reach. So without further ado, guys and gals, I hope you have a great morning, afternoon, night, wherever you may be. God bless, and I hope I see you guys in the next one. Take care.